Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video where we have an updated version of the patch 15.0 tier list for Marvel Contest of Champions. So just to a bit of a standard start of the video disclaimer, this is just to give you a very rough idea of how I perceive different champions to rank, as kind of a guide to which champions I would kind of maybe rank up or invest resources in. But you know, especially when you get to the end game and you're looking at like 5-star champions and rank 5 champions, it's a good idea to, you know, have a proper look into a champion if you want to go for it or rank it up. This is just to give people a very rough idea of where kind of I rate various characters. And yeah, I think it acts as a very good kind of reference tool for new players and progressing players to make some good rank up choices, especially earlier on in the game. And we have now as well, one of the things that we added with the last tier list update is we have this little star icon, which is champion relies on being awakened, just to clearly show, you know, which champions are only going to be good if you have like an awakening gem or a means of awakening them. And then the I got a second one actually, which is kind of this muscle icon, which is relies on a high signature level. So this is just to kind of dictate the characters that to really be good and really to stand out, they do need a high signature level. And that's really only for Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and Daredevil Classic. Because, you know, if you want to play either one of these characters and want them to be effective, you do need to have like 60 plus levels easily to kind of get some good use out of them. And while those characters have lower sig levels, they're probably all about a tier down. So yeah, just important to bear in mind there, because I do still have Scarlet Witch in the God tier. Like, I really rate Scarlet Witch in for a lot of matchups. She's still this champion with well above damage, well above average damage output. She's got regeneration, she's got stun, she's got power steal, she's got power lock. Granted that the procs are a little bit less, but you know, when thinking about the majority of fights, when in questing, in terms of stuff like Alliance Quest, in terms of like Realm of Legends and that style of content, like, she's still a really great option. So yeah, I still like Scarlet Witch. But aside from that, in terms of the God tier, we have Star-Lord when awakened, pretty much the damage MVP in terms of ramp up. We got Dr. Voodoo, just so much this character can do in terms of regenerating, controlling power. What else can Dr. Voodoo do? Reduce defensive ability accuracy, nullify buffs. Like, there's quite a bit on his plate there. Then we have Wolverine, who is the absolute regeneration machine, especially when, well, kind of needs to be awakened to get the big portion of regen out of him, but such a great character for Alliance Quest. Archangel, just incredible damage when awakened. Has a really strong defensive ability accuracy reduction on his neurotoxin, and just, yeah, insane damage output, heal block. Like, he's got quite a bit going for him. And then we got Gwenpool, just amazing damage, chance to stun on regular hits, which if you know how to do short on combos and kind of make the most of that, is really good. Got defensive ability accuracy when awakened, can survive special freeze, has a power lock on a special too, so she's got quite a bit going on there. Hyperion, just an insanely hard-hitting cosmic character, still by far in my opinion the top damaging cosmic character, even with Medusa. Medusa comes quite close to Hyperion in terms of when she has the right synergies, but in scenarios where she's not paired with what is it, both Karnak and Black Bolt, Hyperion is just by far the god that you need. So yeah, really good champion for stuff like Alliance Quest, just questing in general. Great character. Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, very hard-hitting champion. Has just an insane amount of damage with his poise ramp up, has taunt so he can easily bait out specials. He's got a stun on his special 1, you've got an emergency power drain of 45% on his heavy attack, an auto evade of 60-something% on projectile attacks. So yeah, really valuable stuff there with Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, not to mention he's such a fun character to play. Then finally in the God tier we have Iceman, so poison and bleed immune, can survive special freeze with his ice armor and only take 5% of his maximum health as damage, counters evade, and it's just generally like a pretty decent damage output champion to play. So Iceman's utility just comes in use in so many different aspects. And then Scarlet Witch, who we talked about in the beginning. So I think in terms of the God tier and Demigod tier, there are a lot of Demigod tier champions that just have matchups that are absolutely insane, or scenarios where these characters can really excel, or maybe are the best option for certain matchups. So in the Demigod tier, we got Wolverine X23, an insane amount of damage, more than Wolverine, but less regeneration. And personally, I value the regeneration that Wolverine has significantly more when it comes to questing and stuff like Alliance Quest. Rogue, she's got Power Steal, she's got some pretty nice damage if you're just spamming the special 2, got, Life Steal on the special 1, and can copy opponent's buffs. So yeah, some interesting stuff for Rogue. Storm, very hard-hitting champion, can stun quite frequently, and I really value stun if you can do shortened combos. I'm going to do a video talking about how to kind of, cut your combos a little bit shorter to kind of utilize stun to its full extent, but stun is a mechanic that I'm rating quite a bit more than I used to, especially when I've learned how to do various shortened combos in the last few months and got quite comfortable with that. And then we have Psylocke, amazing power control champion. When the opponent doesn't have any debuffs or way to gain power, and also reduces ability accuracy, so she's pretty good. Cable. Cable's just a pretty good all-around champion. He's got a little bit of regeneration, a little bit of ability accuracy reduction. His damage ain't too bad, but yeah, he's definitely got quite a bit going for him. And then we have Crossbones, Black Widow, and Elektra, all champions that can reduce ability accuracy in various different ways. Daredevil Classic for his projectile evade, but you kind of do want this to be quite high if you're playing Daredevil. Also, his stun is really handy, and the additional crit chance that he gains on special attacks, and also his increased block chance. Got quite a bit going for him. Ghost Rider is one of the champions that I'd say ideally in some circumstances could be perceived as god tier. I think the only thing that makes Ghost Rider like not quite god tier is just his damage and kind of the longer fights. Like, it just sucks even under some of the best case scenarios. Like, it's just really not that great in comparison to what else is out there. But Ghost Rider, he's your Swiss Army Knife champion, absolutely amazing for Alliance Quest, can regenerate, Fate Seal, Power Drain, Power Lock, and is bleed immune. So yeah, just a ton that character can do. Then we got Guillotine, very hard-hitting champion, got the heal reversal, a little bit of a health siphon based on the amount of souls, and also next month Morningstar is gonna increase the amount of time before souls expire on Guillotine, so that's an interesting synergy buff for that champion, so might make her even more valuable. And then we have Dormammu, bleed and poison immune champion, and he is, just a power control god. The mechanics that he has fire is medium attack finisher, and also special 2, really great for controlling power, so amazing champion for that. Then we also have Magic, who is arguably, in a lot of scenarios, when it comes to stuff like Alliance War, and when you want to control power, I think Magic, she is most people's like god tier option, like a really great Magic. But outside of those scenarios where you want to control the opponent's power, she's a little bit lacking in damage comparatively speaking. Like, one of the questions that I had a bit on the live stream where we initially debuted this list is, why is Scarlet Witch god tier and Magic demigod tier? And I think that's because, Scarlet Witch has the ability to regenerate and deal significantly more damage over long periods. Whereas Magic, I really do rate the champion. I believe she has some fantastic uses in the game, but when you don't need to power control, I feel like a Scarlet Witch is a significantly better option to use, but hey, that's just my opinion. Then we got Hood, who is a utilities god again. Kind of not maybe quite as good as Ghost Rider. Does a little bit more damage. On his critical hits, he can stagger buffs. On his special 2, he has a Fate Seal and ability accuracy reduction. He can go invisible and have a really strong chance, 90% to auto-evade projectile attacks. So yeah, Hood is actually one of my favorite characters to play. Great synergy with Mystic Dispersion as well. Medusa, who we had last month, incredibly hard-hitting champion. She's immune to poison, has auto-block. And yeah, just deals an incredible amount of damage. Like, a really great Medusa. I think she's a fantastic champion. Angela as well, very hard-hitting cosmic character. What does Angela have going? A very nice synergy with the Suicide Masteries, if you're a big fan of those and enjoy using those, because she can recover a lot of the health there. Then we got Thor and Drax, just two very hard-hitting champions. I think they're a little bit below Medusa and Angela in terms of how I value them. I'd say Angela and Medusa, maybe Medusa's number 2 cosmic and Angela's number 3. But again, it depends on the scenario and setup, because Medusa with a team synergy, and Angela with suicides, they're both quite good, both pretty good. But then we have Vision. I put both here. I think the OG version of Vision is ever so slightly better, but for power control, both of these champions are incredibly fantastic. But they do need to be awakened to kind of get the maximum benefit out of them. And then we have Ultron, a great champion for Alliance Quest, regeneration at the 50 and 25% thresholds, double immunity, stun on special attacks. Like, I really like Ultron, and he doesn't need to be awakened to be good. Same with Doc Ock, you have the ability to heal block and both power lock on Doc Ock, and pretty much have infinite uptime on both of those if you know how to play the character. Plus, he's a fairly decent, he's got some really, really nice damage output as well. So yeah, I really like Doctor Octopus, and he's arguably better in some matchups like Cable and Magic when he's not awakened, so he's got that going on for him. And then we have Hulk, incredibly hard-hitting champion, poison immune, he's got a 85% chance to stun on a special one, and yeah, if you can, you know, do short on combos and time that in with the duration of the stun to maximize the amount of hits you can get, very, very powerful champion. Amazing boss killer for Dormammu in Alliance Quest, certainly has a bit going on from there. Same with Yellow Jacket, really. Yellow Jacket just has some really, really nice damage output, very good for fighting Dormammu's in Alliance Quest if you need a boss killer, and when he's awakened, you also have that stun, which is pretty damn handy. And then we have Captain America World War II, the favorite of the two Captain Americas. I think Captain America used to be in my God tier, but I've recently moved him down just due to the fact with even Captain America World War II, matches where I have buffs, I still find I'm taking quite a bit of damage even when blocking. So it just, you know, the block from the shield on Captain America doesn't seem as powerful as it used to be. And a lot of the endgame stuff nowadays is either about having insane damage or insane power control or utility or regeneration to deal with various kind of, what is it, threats and challenges. So yeah, I'm not really seeing too many great uses for Captain America World War II recently. So I've bumped him down a tier, but I don't know, he might rise again if there is another, what is it, challenging champion that pops up similar to Juggernaut, or Rhino, if those ever become popular defenders again. But I think especially with moving towards some of these new Mystic champions like Mephisto, I feel like we aren't going to see too many Juggernauts in the future. And arguably, if you know what you're doing, Magic is a bit of a better counter to Juggernaut. And then we have, finally, Hawkeye. So I really like Hawkeye, just some really solid damage, got a very nice power drain on a special one, so I've kind of bumped him up to Demigod tier, because I know a lot of people really, really like using Hawkeye. I've seen some awesome gameplay on the character, so I think he finally deserves it. And then the rest of Amazing and Good tier, you can have a bit of a look through on your own time, but I just wanted to talk about, you know, who I perceive to be some of the top champions in game and why. There are a lot of people in the Amazing tier that can kind of do stuff in the Demigod tier, but maybe they're just a little bit lacking. Still a ton of really, really good champions kind of knocking about this tier, and very useful ones. But as you go down the champions, they get a little bit more sorry. But to be honest, I think there are really, really good uses for pretty much all of this tier of champion. A lot of the stuff in the meta tier, maybe some of these champions have their very, very occasional uses, but not really anything of a huge amount of value there. So really, you know, I think most of the great utility and damage can be found in the Demigod and God tier in terms of the tier list. And then this is obviously the Offense tab, which is a champion you actually play. Now for the Alliance War Defense tab, just because Alliance War at the moment is in such a state of fluctuation. There are big changes made a couple of weeks ago that totally changed the meta of defense. Before it used to be like everybody plays the same 10-15 champions, but now it's like 50 unique defenders every battle group, and everybody hates it. It's not really a very popular change at all. So they say they're making changes at the moment, so if you're looking to upgrade defenders, like, don't do it right now, because it's not really a good time to invest into defenders before we know kind of, you know, which direction they definitely want to stick to and push in. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So there's no update for Alliance War Defense, just for the offense, but I'm sure next month, with some of the new characters that are coming in, stuff is going to shake up quite a bit, and I feel like we might be seeing every champion from next month land at least in the Demigod tier. But You know, I'm very, very hopeful for Mephisto, Morningstar, and also Blade. They seem like very, very promising characters initially, and it looks like they are potentially all going to be Mystic, which is also another thing that makes Champions super, super OP with Mystic Dispersion, man. Such a great, great mastery. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this updated version of the tier list, and hopefully it gives you some direction in the game. Again, just as a disclaimer, it's not a be-all, end-all ranking for every champion in every matchup, but it's just to give you a rough idea of, you know, what I perceive to be some of the highest value characters in the game at the moment. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, take care, and have an absolutely fantastic day.